Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm a little bit chilly today, so I've got a little wrapper up here. Deb Cooper, global stressologist. Thank you for joining me. Woohoo! Here we go. Today is, I think I say this each time, it's going to be a goodie, because today I'm going to talk about how to rise above the people who try to tear you down. Ouch, ouch, ouch. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, let's just make sure we've got some people on here. Here we go. I just want to talk a little bit about regularity with people around us. And when you start, well, I should say, have you ever noticed the moment you start growing or speaking up or healing or changing or evolving or anything, and you become more of yourself, there's suddenly somebody has an opinion on you. I'm just going to say that. 1, 2 hands right now. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's direct, sometimes it comes from strangers even, and I think for me would be the hardest that I've discovered with people is it comes from people closest to you. And even just saying that, you go, wow, they're supposed to support me during this time. So what can happen is, if we're not careful, what can happen is other people's opinions, projections, whatever you can label those in, which I say Pac-Man, it comes in and tries to gobble you up, they actually limit us. And when we get limited, we actually second guess ourselves. Am I doing the right thing? Am I on path? Is this? And what then happens is we fight or flight, but often, or actually as my partner says, or freeze, sometimes we just hold back. We start shrinking and we start questioning our worth, and we start actually just questioning not just our worth, but where we are in this process of this world. And what can happen is you can lose your focus. And when I say lose your focus on what truly matters to you. But I want to let you know, the truth of this particular, when I was putting this together last night, I kept thinking about this is actually not yours, it's theirs. So the people trying to tear you down often say more about where they are at than where you're at. Now, this is I don't know why my thing keeps jumping. This isn't about blaming others. It isn't about blaming others or anything like this. This is actually just going, this is their stuff, not yours. Because, I talk about don't take things personally, and I've talked about it for yonks and yonks and yonks. But it actually says where they're at. So I'm going to show you how to recognize where they're at to where you're at and how to move forward. So I'm going to show you how to rise above that Pac-Man that comes in, that little Pac-Man that comes in and gobbles you up without losing yourself in it. And I'm not saying you have to be a hardball, and I'm saying you have to be defensive, and I'm not saying you have to be an a-hole to everybody, but you actually come from a more heartfelt place, a clearer, stronger, wiser, and more grounded place when you're serving what's going on around you. Just make sure. But just know that your purpose is your purpose. No one can distract you from your purpose unless you let them. So today, basically, I'm going to show you how to be you. How to be you. I know I've done videos on you're the boss of you. I know I've done a lot of these things, but I really would love this to land for you. So grab your note-taking device, because I'm finally going to get into the strategies that will help move you out of where you are right now. So number one, where's your grab your note-taking device? Everyone's got that? Of course I've got a glitter one. Of course I've got, this is a purple one actually. This is Moira, my podcast buddy's favourite colour. And I want you to think about other people's energy and projections, and you're going to stop absorbing other people's projections, and we're going to correct this back to yourself, protecting your serenity. So what can happen is, I'm going to give you a few signs. Signs can be you repeat conversations over and over in your mind, or someone makes a comment to you and it's thrown you out all day long. And often what happens is you start questioning yourself after you've fully criticised yourself. You've taken whatever they've said, you've taken it on board, you've fully criticised yourself, and you've gone into that space. And when you do into that space, you actually shrink. You know that one. So this is what I have been doing. I have been, just for the record, not all the time. Just for the record, not all the time. I'm a work in progress, just like the rest of you. So you're going to pause before you react. So also know that not every comment actually deserves access to your nervous system. Not every comment you do deserves access to your nervous system. And when we can look at it like that, you're just pausing and go, I don't need to respond right now. And then you can go, when you're in that pause moment, you're going to ask yourself, is this actually about me or is it where they are at? Now, we're not blaming. So we can go, oh, this is them. This is all them. Da, da, da. That's it. Fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm just going, this is them. Right. So it's not, again, coming back to you. Is it actually about me or is it about where they're at? If you're reacting, it's about you. But if it's not, and you're just like, oh, wow, that's interesting, then you can unpack a little bit more, which I talk about curiosity. And what you're going to do is you're going to protect your energy. When I say protect your energy, you're actually going to protect your energy. And there's this word called boundaries. I'm not a favorite of that word, boundaries, but it's actually you're going to do that. Protect your energy by reducing access to people who constantly project negativity. Boundaries. But we've reframed that to protect your energy, which is your surroundings, and you're going to stop that access to people who constantly project negativity. There's people I can't be around because they're negative. They just moan. I'm like, okay, great. Let's find a solution. My brain goes to solution when someone brings in a negative issue. I can't be around those people because it just depletes and takes everything away from me. And when this happens, it actually allows you to strengthen your, I'm going to say internal validation, because this is the stuff that does wonders on us. And this is our mind. So this allows you to strengthen your internal validation instead of searching for those external Pac-Mans that come in. That's number on me. And you're going to remind yourself, this is a great one, this is one that I even put together last night in my head, was people can only meet you from the level they meet themselves. People can only meet you from the level they meet themselves. People can only meet you from the level they meet themselves. How does that land for that one there? Because when you're taking on other people's projections, energy, Pac-Man, whatever that is, you have no peace, you have no serenity, you have no around you. So the next one I'm going to say here is self-worth. And what I'm aiming to do here for you is actually to strengthen your self-worth so that outside opinions don't define you. Strengthen your self-worth so outside opinions don't define you. And this could be you're making a big decision in your business or personal life and someone says, oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, no, I wouldn't do that. Instead of them actually trusting you and spiraling you into self-doubt and you end up getting abandoned. I'm going to use the word abandoned. You're going to end up getting abandoned for something you actually initially felt aligned with, because people do have opinions. I have an opinion. This is it. But when you can actually see this and go, oh, what's the best option for me, it actually grounds your game. So you're not having to seek reassurance from anybody. You don't have to over-explain yourself. You don't have to feel the need to prove your value, any of those things. So what I would love you to do is build evidence of your own capacity where you've done it. Great, got the thumbs up. By actually acknowledging your wins. Now, a win is, so it doesn't matter if it's small or big, because anything small is actually big. Anything big is actually small. It's just a win. Take away the big or small, it's a win. A win is a win. If you get up every morning, it's a win. If you lay in bed, it's a win. If you shower in the morning or shower in the afternoon, it's still a win. It doesn't mean that you need to do this. So everything is actually a win. And so I want you to look at strangers. Now, those strangers are the ones who have their opinion. So I want you to stop handing the strangers the microphone to your own self-worth. Stop handing that over to them so that they can decide if you're actually worthy of this task or not. I want you to spend time with people who actually see your value and those with you where you don't have to perform to stay in the group. Spend time with people, and Helen, if you're listening, that one's for you. Spend time with people who see your value without needing you to perform for it. And I want you to go back to yourself. We're going back to yourself, not to anyone else. And I want you to know, what do I know to be true about me? What do I know to be true about me? I can do this. I actually don't need those validations from those other people, whatever that is. And this way you're going to honor yourself, and you're going to do things through your boundaries, your rest, just again, your glitter. What's the things that light you up? What are you going to do for those things? And you're going to focus on those things. The next strategy I'm going to give you is actually the C word. The C word, and that. So I laugh at that. I laugh at that, and it's called clarity. And when you have clarity and emotion, it's like this. I don't know how that sounded coming through here, but it's like this. We'll do that one again. So you're going to respond with clarity instead of emotional reaction. You know what emotional reaction is, because someone questions you. Someone questions your parenting skills, your leadership, your choices, why are you doing that, da, da, da. And all of a sudden your body tightens right from the sphincter, right? Everything tightens, you know that one, and it tightens immediately, and you feel the urge to prove a point or win the conversation or say I'm better than them. You just feel like you have to justify wherever that is. So if we're going back to respond with our clarity instead of emotional reaction, we know that one. So the moment that butt clenches, anything like that, or you can feel it, whatever that is, I want you to do these things. I want you to create the space between the trigger and the response. And when I say create a space between trigger and response, go trigger, response. And then I want you to breathe before speaking or replying. So it goes back to that pause, because we're getting our clarity here. And before you even open your mouth, I want you to go, what outcome do I actually want here? Now, that's actually a great one when you're going in to have a conversation with somebody before it actually happens, is actually defining what is that outcome you want. Because if you don't know the outcome, you're pretty screwed-ish. So what outcome do I actually want here? Because the outcome that you started with may look like the goalpost needs shifting. So when you respond calmly, you're responding with clarity and from the heart. That's not weakness. That's definitely not weakness. It's actually called emotional leadership. It is called emotional leadership. And when we become silent, don't worry about what the other people think when you become silent. Just know that silence and that retracting back to yourself actually protects your serenity more than proving your point ever will. And my partner, she actually says, pick the battles to win the war. You don't battle with me. Pick the battles to win the war. So just know that silence protects your serenity as well, more than proving your point ever will. More than proving your point ever will. I trust this is landing for people. I trust this is landing. The next one I'm going to give you is focus. And I want you to stay focused on where you're going, on your vision, any of this stuff, instead of actually getting distracted by negativity, what other people are saying, da, da, da. And this can actually happen because you're stepping into visibility, leadership, growth, evolution, or whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden, people around you become uncomfortable. They become critical. They become sarcastic. They become distant. You are just in that conversation in the next room where they're just talking about you constantly. And instead of actually continuing forward, what do? You take it all on and you stop or slow right down to avoid upsetting others. So this isn't about upsetting others. I don't want you to upset others. It's going back to actually standing in your own power and staying focused on where you're going rather than getting distracted by outside influences, because that Pac-Man can be a very heavy thing that's going on. So what I want you to do is I want you to understand that growth, your growth or others' growth, often triggers people who are avoiding their own growth. Growth often triggers people who are avoiding their own growth. If you're losing weight, people who are not losing weight have a trigger. If you get a pay rise, people who don't get a pay rise get a trigger. If you're in a fulfilling, intimate relationship and people who are not, they get a trigger. So does that make sense that your growth often, whatever growth is, often triggers people who are avoiding their own growth? And this is where it's wise to stay connected to your bigger vision. And when I talk about your bigger vision, what is it you're going? You know, I was involved in multi-level marketing companies way back, and they said, what's your why? What's your why? I was like, I don't know. I'm doing it because I can, and it's easy, and I know it helps people. They're like, but what's your real why? Because when you had a funk day, they would tap into that why. So you always talk to your why about your upline, and you'd say, oh, why? Because I want to serve humanity around the world. I say that with a loose thing, whatever that is. I want to make sure my child has a legacy. My children have a legacy of this much money, whatever that why is. So it's going back to that, and that allows you to stay connected to that bigger vision when things go to wobble. And there's another little one is just reflecting back to yourself. Go back to asking, what matters more? Does your purpose matter more than their opinion? Even if they're family. Does your purpose matter more than their opinion? And you're going to surround yourself with expanders. Expanders is a great word, not blood-sucking energy drainers. You know who an expander is. Just if you don't know who an expander is, should we just do this? Should we just do this whole thing here? Do, just in case you don't know who an expander is. And I have expanders around me who question me and push me to expand as well. It's a no-brainer. So just know that when people throw stones, they're really not the ones who are building that house. If they're throwing bricks and mortar at you, they're not one building something meaningful. They're doing their stuff. This is not about you. Which makes me, of course, go into don't take things personally. Okay, great. Just checking it's good. Don't take things personally. You know, when people say things, so someone ignores your message and you just go, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Whatever that is. It's not rejection. It's whatever it is. So you want to replace that mindset about, oh, I assume they don't like me because I said something 4 years ago, whatever, with curiosity. And you're going to actually detach yourself from their behavior, whatever it is, and stop making them right. Stop making them right and their emotions right. So don't take it personally. This is their stuff. You're also going to do what lights you up. Glitter bomb time, whatever that is, and anything that lights you up, you stop dancing, you stop singing, you stop posting on social media, you stop speaking to people or dreaming because someone once mocked you. So just stop. I want you to schedule that glitter time intentionally. I want you to return to the things that bring you back to your soul. What is it that you love to do? Reconnect yourself to you. And your spark and your aliveness and your joy is actually medicine for life. And that's not selfish. You're actually more selfish if you don't do anything for yourself. So for me, you know, I love a bit of glitter. You know, a bit of glitter. So if I don't get a chance to put my red lipstick on or my favorite perfume or anything, which actually put your perfume on every day. Don't wait for that rainy day, by the way. But any of those things, you know, put a glitter in front of you. Now, that's even men. If men are like, I don't have glitter, have glitter. Whatever it is that you've got that glitter, whatever that is that makes you light up. If you've got your favourite undies, wear your favourite undies. Don't wait for that rainy day for that to happen, but do something that you're scheduling every day that lights you up, whether it's watch one of my videos, whether it's read a book, whether it's watching something on TV, whether it's just going and standing outside and smelling the flowers, whether it's going to the markets and just having a mince around and talk to, whatever that is, schedule that time and intentionally schedule it and then do it. And then you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say here is you are not alone. Again, Debs Cooper, global stressologist. You know, you can see people, you can hear people, you can feel people, you can see it in yourself. This person here, oh, it's even ribbed, it's even glitter. Of course it's got a bit of sparkle on there. This person here is 20 years experience. I am here for a laugh. I'm here for life. I'm here to help you resolve whatever that is. If you don't want to laugh at yourself, I'm probably not your one, but if you've lasted this long in this video, you're going to know that you're going to get. I'm a stiletto kicker. I don't want to see you in this funk. This is why I'm here. So I want you to reach out. Don't let yourself get into that slump of that roller coaster, which you're going to have to go back up. Let's get you so that the roller coaster is not like highs and lows. The roller coaster is like this, that you can manage. You know, let me support you. Let me challenge you. Let me question you. Let me replant seeds. Let's change the neuroplasticity. Let's get you back onto that track of whatever that is. But just know when we're healing, because every day we're healing. Whether you like that word or not, every day we're healing. Just know that healing accelerates in a safe conversations and environments. So you can be sitting in the car talking to me anywhere in the world, and I can be on the other. Who actually talks like this on the phone nowadays? And I can be on the other. We don't have to do face-to-face video. We don't have to meet up. I can just talk to you and we can work through this. So again, you're not alone in this. You're not alone in this. And I can guarantee what you present to me is something I've heard before, felt before, been through a journey with myself or with clients or anybody. I guarantee I've been through it because I've had millions of cases of wobbles from a 1 out of 10 wobble to an 11 out of 10 wobble. In fact, even beyond just some of the stuff. So you're always, I've got your back basically. But in closing, I just seen the time right now. I've got to close. People always have opinions. They always have opinions, positive or negative. But the question is for you: are you going to let their opinions define you, or will you keep going? That's their opinion and rising above. Now, this is not rising above and looking down on people. I just need to clarify that. But also just know that this light that is inside of you, was never designed to shrink so others could stay comfortable. It was never designed to shrink for others to stay comfortable. Wow. That's Debs Cooper, Global Stressologist. I'm here to show you how to rise above the people who try to tear you down. This is all about you. Let's go, people. Thank you very much for joining me. Debs Cooper, Global Stressologist. I will see you next week for another video. Who knows what one that will be. Thanks very much. I look forward to connecting with you. Bye.